Our next property is an almost entirely right-angle free zone. It's a contemporary reinterpretation of the ancient site at Newgrange using modern materials, but also using a very keen eye for design. It's the home of artist Helen Herron and has been inspired by her interest in the winter solstice. It's an impressive architectural achievement built almost entirely in the round with an inner courtyard at its heart. There's a subtle influence of Spanish architect Antonio Gaudi evident in the skirting architraves and the railings. As an artist, Helen worked through the medium of fabric and thread, reflected in the soft furnishings throughout, created by herself. Paint me a picture of what's going on with that house of yours.
It's like putting on a favourite jumper. It's warm, it's welcoming, it's colourful, but above all, it's peaceful and it's safe.
The idea of a circular dwelling has such a huge historical resonance, doesn't it?
I like the whole idea of Newgrange, and originally it was to be an elliptical shaped house, but then we couldn't fit the rooms in properly. So the architect suggested, why not go for a round one? And it just was the right thing to do. Yes. My front door, for instance, faces east-southeast for the rising sun on the morning of the solstice. The idea being that if there is sunshine on that day, that it comes across the courtyard, hits me in the bed, and then
Does it knock on the door?
No, I go out and open the door first.
Why have you got a lighthouse? You know, we're a long way away from any kind of water. Why a lighthouse?
Well, I had been collecting boats for a number of years with the intention of buying one, but the lighthouse theme ties in with the idea of boats, but also a lighthouse points the way. It steers people away from the rocks into calmer waters and into safe waters. And I suppose that was the whole idea, and it is in a round little window as well. Yeah.
This is a very exciting, a very innovative, a very personal house. I wonder what Des thinks about the way it's been put together. I'm intrigued by how you build a building that circular. Where do you start?
Well, circles are difficult. Whenever you start introducing curves on a building like this, everything becomes a little bit more expensive, a little bit more thought needs to go into it.
The thing I think that's very interesting is what happens when you go inside the circle, though.
Yeah, it draws you right through into the centre of it. Now, Newgrange didn't have this in the centre, it didn't have the light, but this is something that we definitely makes this house, the central space.
I love this. I think this is a really exciting and comforting place to be at the same time.
Yeah, it's unusual to have a space in the centre of your house. But this lets a little bit light into everything. But in this space, this is the feature of it, the tower, and it continues the colour of the grey that's external. But it's the changes of level that we have. This is the main priority. Then the high part of roof, which is over where the trusses are within the kitchen, where the corridor is, it steps down and makes it just a little bit softer, and a little bit lower, a little bit more intimate, and lets more light in.
It stops it feeling like a fort. You know, it stops it feeling too aggressive. It becomes much more organic, much more landscape-like.
That's right. And Helen talks about the two rings, outer wall and the inner wall of the courtyard. When you're between those, you're given energy, and it must work because there is that feeling when you come into this house. You know, I haven't just got my head around why, but it's got this energy.
Atmosphere. Energy and atmosphere.
Got it.
I'm going to go and find Suzanne, and we're going to talk atmosphere, energy, and how you put furniture in a curved room. Oh look, there's north. Compass on the floor, so you know where north is. What a wonderful space to arrive in. Very grand and vertical and circular.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing that this is the circular hall in the circular house with the circular courtyard. But I love that. It's just so brave, this home.
Again, this has a personal significance to her. It's a symbol for her that goes with the compass, and indeed the stained glass window.
And this really, this signifies the meaning of the, it is a haven for her.
A safe harbour indeed. Terribly cosy in here. I love this fireplace right in the middle.
Again, this circular floating fireplace, which allows you to keep the room completely open. I think this is amazing. A lot of beams in here, though, which maybe it could have been a little bit more open.
I'll forgive them for the simple reason that they are beautifully detailed. The one thing I'm not so sure about, these skirtings and the architraves inspired by Gaudi, I know they were a late-on idea, and I find them a little bit, you know, just added
But I
on
think
at the
that
end.
really reflects Helen's kind of artistic nature. You know, she was very, very inspired when she went to Barcelona.
And so she just thought, let's bring that in.
Yeah.
Of course, this is a real statement home. It's a phenomenal piece of contemporary architecture. But it's lovely that the furniture is just about being homey. You know, it's just sort of relaxed and informal.
This is such a relaxing space. It's very energising. It's very inspiring because it's so individual.
Well, I'm going to go and try and find Michael. Now, of course, it's not difficult because this is a dirty, great big donut. So as long as I keep going round, I'll bump into him. It's actually a really exciting experience walking along a curved corridor like this. Yes, it's a very ancient sense, but it feels incredibly modern as well. And the thing that Helen has achieved, I think, is just to make sure that the details are so exquisite. It could be a bit, you know, a bit mishmashy, couldn't it? But actually it works so well.
And you can feel quality here, you know, the likes of the architraves with the vein running throughout the house. The curved bedroom, I mean, Helen says that when she wakes up in this curved room, she immediately feels vitalised. And then the winter solstice story of the sun coming through is fantastic.
It's also a really nice piece of planning because from the bed you get a really nice view across the courtyard.
But you do get a feeling that it's a home.
Yes.
And its quality, the workmanship, the craftsmanship. A lot of local people have been involved in this too, with the railings outside, with the interiors as well. There's great energy in her and in the house, and the gardens as well. She hasn't forgotten about the outside, which is good.
And award-winning, because I believe she's won awards for the
It's an
garden.
award-winning garden. There aren't a lot of flowers out there. What she's concentrated on again is the shape and the texture. It's an easily maintained garden and an easily maintained home, an easy to live in home. It works well.
Well, there we are. Fascinating, stunning. A house with ancient inspiration built in the round. Now, house number 3.